Thank you. Well, good morning, everyone. Good morning, councillors. Good morning, staff. Good morning, Reverend. Here we go, our first council meeting for 2026. So welcome to our council meeting today, the 28th of January 2026. We'll start off our council meeting with recording who is present, please. Thank you. And also moving on to apologies and leave of absence. So this morning we have an apology from our councillor Craig Highmarsh. He's unwell today, so and an apology. So can I have a mover and a seconder, please? Mover, Councillor Cruz, seconder, Councillor Donaldson. Those in favour? Motion carried. Thank you or apology carried. Thank you very much. We move on now to our acknowledgement of country. So we wish to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land on which we work and live, recognise their continuing connection to land, water and community. We pay our respects to elders past and present, and extend that to thank all those who have previous generations and current generation who have forged and built our amazing region and nation. So thank you very much. We're moving along now to our opening prayer, and we thank Reverend David Piper, who's here from the Anglican Church. So thank you very much, Reverend.
Thank you. Yeah, so my name's David. We've been here 1 year. We moved to Emerald sight unseen. We've never been here, but on the good recommendation of many, which has proved to be very much true. And we've really enjoyed our year here. Thank you for your service. So I'd like to open in prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for sending Jesus to serve humanity, even to the point of death, rescuing us from slavery to selfishness, sin, and its consequences. We thank you for the culture of service-minded leadership that your example has given to our civilization, our nation. May we never lose that. We thank you for these councillors who give their time and effort to serve our community in so many ways. Lord, as they meet this morning, give them great wisdom, courage, and energy for their precious task. We ask you, Lord, to bless this meeting today. In Jesus' name, amen.
Thank you very much, Reverend. We really appreciate that. And we're very happy you chose to come to the Central Highlands, and now you know our secret of what a great region we have and wonderful people. But thank you very, very much for your blessing today. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, councillors. So moving on now to our confirmation of the previous meeting minutes. Can I have a mover, please? Councillor Wilkins, seconder. Councillor Newman, sorry. Those in favour? Minutes carried. Thank you very much. So moving on to any business arising out of those minutes. Nil? Thank you very much, councillors. Moving on now to a review of outstanding meeting actions. Thank you. I'm taking that as nil as well, comments, so thank you very much. And deputations, Mr. CEO?
Madam Mayor, no deputations today.
Thank you. Merrill Minute, nil. Any conflicts of interest today, councillors? Okay, Neil, and just a reminder as we go through the agenda, if something does come up, please voice your conflicts of interest if need be. Thank you very much. Any petitions today, Mr. CEO?
None received, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Moving on now to decision action report section, and our first is coming from the Communities Department. So moving on to item 12.1.1, our Central Highlands Arts and Cultural Advisory Committee new member nomination. Can I have a mover, please? Councillor Wilkins, seconder. Councillor Burns, I think you were just above it. Thank you very much. And handing over now to Lehigh Duncan, Manager Culture, Arts and Regional Engagement. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mayor Moriarty. Through the Chair, the Central Highlands Arts and Cultural Advisory Committee, known as CHRC, is a council committee established to support council's service delivery in the areas of arts, culture and heritage. CHRC operates under a Terms of Reference, which is endorsed by council. As required by this Terms of Reference, membership is comprised of up to 15 members, including 2 councillor reps, 1 arts and cultural officer, and up to 12 community members. We currently have 11 community member vacancies on the committee, and we have received an expression of interest from a community member to join the committee. This report references that request and seeks council endorsement of that community member to be appointed to the committee. Councillors have previously requested further information about nominees to join CHRC, so for a brief synopsis, this EOI has been received by Ursula Colgan. She is a well-known member of the Blackwater community, involved in numerous community groups. She is a silversmith and has a keen interest in other arts practices and has experience in the delivery of creative events in the community. Ursula also has a keen interest in seeing a greater number of arts and cultural events happening at council venues. Officers believe that Ursula would be a great addition to the committee, and I'll take the report as read.
Good, thank you very much. Over to Councillor Wilkins.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Yes, I certainly support this. You know, Ursula is well known to be very much a Blackwater supporter. However, on Australia Day, while out at Rubyvale, she was there being emceeing some of the celebrations there. So she's not just focused on Blackwater. She's you know, out and about, and I think she will be a great representative. She has many artistic interests, including silversmithing. So I think she will bring a lot to this group.
Good, thank you very much. Councillors, any other comments or questions?
Yeah,
Councillor Burns.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Yeah, I think I support her. She'd make a great member. So there's all the other positions are vacant at the moment. That's shocking. How are we advertising that? Are we just on the website? Or?
Yeah, thank you, Councillor Burns. Through the Chair, so expressions of interest can be received at any time, so they're always up on the council website to be received, and then periodically we will push that through a PR campaign. So that'll be through emails to our different email lists, like our galleries e-newsletter, through social media and the like as well.
Okay. Thank you.
Good, thank you very much. Councillor Whiteman.
I'd also like to support this. Ursula's a pillar of the community, and as far as thinking off the top of my head of somebody more suited to this role, I can't. So I think that it's a perfect fit for Ursula.
Good, thank you very much. Very good. Any other comments or questions? Thanking you. Back to Councillor Wilkins, if you have any closing comments.
No closing comments. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you very much. So the recommendation is that the Central Highlands Regional Council endorses Ursula Colgan as a member of the Central Highlands Arts and Cultural Advisory Committee. So all those in favour? Motion carried. Thank you very much. Moving on to item 12.1.2, donation request, Central Highlands Sunflower Festival 2026. Can I have a mover, please? Councillor Burns. And a seconder? Councillor Wilkins. Very good. Handing back over to Lehi Duncan, Manager Culture, Arts and Regional Engagement, to take us through the report. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Moriarty. Through the Chair, so this report seeks Council approval for sponsorship of the 2026 Sunflower Festival. The requested amount totals $18,294.20 and is made up of a cash component, in-kind support component and a fee waiver. The total amount is above staff delegation as per Council's Community Support Program policy and is required to be brought to Council for consideration. The Sunflower Festival is a key annual event for the community and one that Council has supported for a number of years, and this year marks the 50th anniversary of the festival. We'll take the report as read, and I have Nikki Atkinson here beside me, Coordinator Regional Entertainment and Events, if there are any questions.
Thank you very much. Councillor Burns.
Sorry, Madam Mayor, I thought they'd go longer. No, I definitely support this. I think we don't have many festivals or anything happening in this area of the region, and this is definitely a long-running one and a very popular one with the community. And it really is like the earmark event for Easter and all that for the whole region. So in our area, so I definitely support this.
Good. Thank you, Councillor Burns. Councillors, any other comments? Councillor Wilkins.
Yes, I also support this. Last year I was actually in the parade, and I've never seen such a turnout of people along the parade path. And it was really wonderful to see. People had set up marquees and everything on the side of the road, and kids came prepared with their buckets to collect lollies. It was such a heartwarming, uplifting event. And then when it finished at the racecourse, you could barely walk. It was so full of people. So I think this is such a wonderful event. Yep.
Good. Thank you very much. Councillor Newman.
Through the Chair, I also support this event. It brings a lot of tourists to our region. It's a milestone event on this particular occasion, and it's not only the parade and the celebrations on the day, it involves a whole week of interaction for the community, and people return over that Easter weekend just for the festival. So I'm fully in support of that. I just have one other question though. How are we advertising the events assistance? Because I know many of the RSLs wanted some assistance last year. They asked how they would go about it for this year. So are we actively promoting that with them in preparation for that event?
Through the Chair, yes, we are reaching out to our community groups via email when the rounds are opening. And then we also work with those groups that we know need to apply on a regular basis to advise them, and then arrange meeting times where they require assistance to complete their applications.
Good. Thank you very much, councillors. And yes, this is exciting that we've got in this year celebrating 50 years of the Central Highlands Sunflower Festival. So it's very, very exciting. I know that the committee, I'm sure we've spoken to them, and they are planning to do lots and lots of things this year because it runs over quite a few days, almost a week. And of course, at the moment, we've also got the Sunflower Queen and Princess raising funds by hosting events everywhere at the moment, spreading lots of cheer. And of course, very important part of the Sunflower Festival is our sister city relationship there with Altona, but it's the Manitoba province, so and Central Highlands. So there's lots of facets to it, and it's very exciting. And absolutely congratulate the committee on and everybody that's been involved all the years to reach this significant milestone of 50 years. So that's for me, I think. Over to Councillor Burns for closing comments.
Yeah, no further comments. Thank you, Mayor.
Good. Thank you very much. So I'll just read the recommendation that the Central Highlands Regional Council approves the sponsorship request for the 2026 Central Highlands Easter Sunflower Festival for 1, cash component of $5,000, 2, in-kind support component of up to $11,901.20, and 3, fee waiver of $1,393. So those we have a mover and seconder. So those in favour. Motion carried. Thank you very much. Thank you. So moving on to item 12.1.3, Draft Emerald Airport Master Plan 2025. Can I have a mover, please? Councillor Donaldson, and a seconder, Councillor Newman. So I hand over now to Carolyn Knudsen, Director Communities Department, to lead us through the discussions. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Through the Chair, good morning, councillors. The 2019 Emerald Airport Master Plan was the first stage of a 20-year strategic outlook for aviation in the region. In the last 5 years, the Emerald Airport has had major infrastructure works undertaken with primary asset upgrades such as the runway overlay, a terminal expansion and the landside parking infrastructure. This draft plan, the 2025 draft plan, is a revision of the current 2019 master plan and has identified a review of the aviation industry status as well as the changes that have been undertaken in the last 5 years. This draft plan confirms that the 2019 master plan had development recommendations that are still relevant and we've modified some of the priorities, for example, the development of the air hub and change to the main entry road having lower viability, while there is an increased expectation towards the opportunity to redesign the air transport operations and general aviation footprint. The draft master plan was consulted with stakeholders and the community at large in September 2025 through a range of mediums, such as pop-up election member stands at the local shopping centres, media releases which generated front page article within the Emerald Today on the 6th of September, and also online on the 3rd of September, promotion of the Emerald Airport at the Emerald Airport on screens and by posters. Council, we also engaged in an external stakeholder forum as well as an internal stakeholder forum from subject matter experts in the aviation industry and those that are very familiar to the Emerald Airport. As a result, around 114 items of feedback were documented as being received from 68 respondents. There was also a significant amount of feedback that was received that was operational and in nature, and so whilst not incorporated in the draft master plan, have been considered and addressed through alternative processes which are identified in the report. There is an implementation plan that is identified in the draft Master Plan 2025 that talks about what projects we would be looking to implement over that period of time, but also incorporates not just the 5 years, which is the short-term deliverables, but also medium-term, which is the likely going to be delivered in the next revised draft master plan the following 5 years, or up to a 20-year forward program. And what this does is allows for those projects to be identified, potential funding opportunities to be sought, and to not lose sight of the ultimate direction of which the airport should be progress through to in the next 20 years, dependent on numbers, usage of the airport and demand within the community. I have with me today the Manager of Airports, Brian Griggs, to assist with any technical questions in relation to the master plan. And I now present the Central Highlands Regional Council Emerald Airport Master Plan for adoption.
Thank you very, very much. Over to Councillor Donaldson. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. I'd say it's a very, very extensive report that they did. It's good that we're not only thinking of the short term, but also the long term. And there is some exciting developments in aviation with the, let me get this right, electrical vertical takeoff and landing vehicles, which is, it's an unknown sort of territory at the moment, but I think the application for not only us but the bush, with the developments of that, is a very exciting area, which it'd be very interesting to see what's going to happen in the next 5 to 10 years, actually. Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you, Councillor Donaldson. Councillor Wilkins.
Thank you. I'm also excited about this. Just with the feedback, I know you've stated here that the feedback has been considered and you've identified it in here, but has it brought about any changes to the master plan? Or, sorry, because I haven't compared it.
Mm-hmm. So through the Chair, where it's identified where the feedback has been considered as part of the master plan is the first table on page 26 of
Yes.
the 263, and that has allowed us to, sharpen some of the recommendations or some of the implementation plan within the report, and identify more clearly those actions. So, for example, the covered walkways landside from parking to terminal, that's been clearly identified within the master plan. It was previously identified, but it's just been sharpened in terms of a greater understanding as to what could be delivered as part of that project. The baggage claim facilities, the capacity to increase and upgrade, that's been recognised within the master plan, and to a degree, again, just further detailed in relation to what that might look like into the future, as opposed to just a short reference within the master plan. It's just been expanded on slightly.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. I know I sort of was wondering about, and I've asked a couple of times about the disability access outside the front of the airport, that the drop-off place, because it is still difficult. Are there going to be any changes there?
So through the Chair, there's certainly been some operational. So operationally, what we've looked at, and I will throw to the Manager of Airport to give a further update, what we're looking at is because of the change in the approach that Home Affairs is requiring airports to undertake with regards to limiting access by vehicle to the entrances of our airports for a security reason. Over the years, that has been identified by Home Affairs as potentially not delivering the results they had initially anticipated with regards to limiting access. And by limiting access, that has an impact on our customers being able to freely access the frontage of the terminal to drop off persons that may not want to walk that longer distance to be able to access the check-in area, and also to be collected from flying into the region. And so the airport is looking at the footprint and the traffic flow in and around the terminal to be able to redesign potentially at a minimal cost by line marking and potentially how we operate and utilise our boom gate access, to be considerate of how do we accommodate the need for the drop-off pickup, but also protect all persons under our Home Affairs obligations. So I will throw to the Manager of Airport if you can enlighten us further.
Through the Chair, that's correct. We're doing a traffic study at the moment to see what we can do to improve, and there's definitely are opportunities now that we've got a bit of direction from Home Affairs. They've had a bit of a rethink themselves, so it opens the opportunities for us. So that you should see over the once we can get through this traffic plan that we're working on now, you should see improvements for people dropping off, not just people with issues, but just generally the traffic flow and the drop-offs should improve, and taxis and so on as well. So we're definitely working on that.
Fantastic. So my question was more about, thank you, I appreciate that. My question is like, if there's only one small section where you can actually roll a wheelie walker or a wheelchair from the road up onto the pavement. So if you're parking sort of in front of that, and I presume the driver would, say get the wheelie walker out, but it's a very awkward trying to, park in a way that you can use that to wheel the wheelie walker up or the wheelchair up. That was just my thing. It's just a very awkward access for disabled people.
Through the Chair, we have the ramps both at arrivals and departures to make that a little bit easier. There is another ramp midway along between the arrivals and departures that we'll be able to make use of. And what we have been doing recently as well is letting people with movement issues also use the freight parking area, which gives them a little bit easier access as well.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Newman.
Through the Chair, I am thoroughly in support of this master plan. I think it's been comprehensively developed and the feedback incorporated. In regard to the feedback summary, again, I was more around that disabilities area and also the returning health flights. So when I was recently in another airport, I saw an AV ramp and it was covered. It provided support not only to those elderly, but also to young mums and children and those travelling with others. So I'm glad to see that was in the feedback, and I hope that when we do look at that operational area, that that aspect is investigated from plane to car, so two-car park. So in regard to the draft the master plan and the adoption of the master plan, I am thoroughly in support of it.
Good. Thank you, Councillor Newman. Any other comments or questions, councillors? I guess just from myself, I just wanted to say thank you very much for the extensive consultation. I was pleased to see a lot of the recommendations, particularly the covered walkways. I just think in our climate as well, and because we've, people have had to, especially with limited mobility, had to be in the drop-off area and taken up. So, and we're making observations, and it's outside of this as well, but just an observation was older people having to do that spin around in the security scanner, watching them almost fall over. But anyway, that's just another comment, but I concur with Councillor Donaldson and other councillors that, yes, having that short-term and long-term view to planning is very, very important for us because it is such a critical asset for our region. Handing back over to Councillor Donaldson if you have any closing comments.
I actually have, because I missed a few things. With some of the comments were with the baggage claim, slow. I tell you now, I've travelled a fair bit, and the Emerald Airport's one of the fastest baggage claims you can get. I've waited for an hour in Brisbane Airport. That's just a comment. And just another small comment with our ensure punctual flights. Emerald Airport has achieved the highest on-time performance in Australia, and that's a big tick for Brian and the airlines, with 91.2% of flights arriving and 94.6% departing flights departing on schedule, which is pretty unbelievable for us. That's about all my comments. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Good. Thank you very much, Councillor Donaldson. I'll just read out the recommendation now, that the Central Highlands Regional Council adopts the 2025 Emerald Airport Master Plan. So all those in favour? Motion carried. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Moving along now to section 12.2, corporate services, and the agenda item is 12.2.1, monthly finance report, December 2025. Can I have a mover, please? Oh, I better move it then. Did I see your hand there, Councillor Whiteman? Seconder? Thank you very much. And handing over to our finance manager. Oh, we're right. Okay. Handing over to our finance manager, Helen Kirby. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Good morning, councillors. This report is presented in line with Section 204 of the Local Government Regulation 2012, requiring monthly financial reporting. It outlines Council's financial performance to the 31st of December 2025, measured against Budget Review 1. Budget Review 1 was adopted by Council on the 26th of November 2025 and represents our current budget. At the halfway point of the financial year, total expenditure is just under 42% of the annual full-year total expenditure budget, reflecting disciplined spending and also timing and budget phasing differences across both operating and capital areas. In terms of the year-to-date operating performance, Council has recorded a surplus of $7.5 million, which is $5.9 million above budget. Operating revenue totals $106 million, representing a minor favourable variance to budget of $671,000. And operating expenses of $98 million are tracking $5.3 million below budget, primarily due to timing and also budget phasing differences. Year-to-date capital expenditure is $23.7 million, which is 27% of the annual capital budget of $88.4 million. When committed expenditure is included, project delivery is effectively at 64% of budget at the mid-year point. Council's net cash position remains strong, with total cash of $121 million and borrowings of just over $30 million. Approximately 94% of Council's cash is invested with the Queensland Treasury Corporation in their capital guaranteed at call accounts. Approximately 48 million of the cash holdings are externally restricted and are not available for discretionary use. Council's long-term financial plan forecasts no new borrowings for the next 10 years, and a further loan is scheduled for early repayment in March this financial year, which will result in debt reducing to approximately 20 million by the year end. Most financial sustainability ratios are tracking within their targets. The asset sustainability ratio does remain below target, reflecting the level of new and upgrade projects within this year's capital program that are supported by external funding through grant programs. At the mid-year point of the financial year, Council's identified business activities all recorded operating surpluses and are performing above budget expectations. Attachment 6 to the tabled report provides detailed year-to-date operating income and expenditure statements for each of these business activities. Total rates and water arrears are 9.5 million, comprising 6.9 million in rates and 2.6 million in water charges. Compared to the previous month, rates arrears decreased by 144,000 and water arrears by 562,000. There are currently 398 active payment plans in place where interest is being waived while the ratepayer remains compliant with the terms of their arrangements. No debt recovery action occurred in December due to the Christmas holiday period. Sundry debtors representing customers of council other than ratepayers total 5.3 million, with the majority of this amount relating to current and non-overdue invoices. Finally, in relation to procurement activity, 761 purchase orders were raised and 7 tenders were released in December. Year-to-date expenditure across local and external suppliers remains reasonably balanced overall, with non-local spend only slightly higher by approximately 5%. In closing, the recommendation before Council is to adopt the monthly financial report for the period ended 31st of December 2025. Thank you, and I'm happy to take any questions.
Good. Thank you very much, Manager Finance. I guess I get to speak first. So just want to say once again, thank you very much for the comprehensive report, our monthly report. So thank you very, very much. As you quite rightly demonstrated, Council still has an operating surplus of $7.451 million, which demonstrates that we're financially sound at the conclusion of our first 6 months of this financial year, and also pointing out that our capital expenditure, including commitments, represents 63.2% of the full year adopted capital budget, which is at midway, so it's more than 50% at midway. So thank you very much. Councillors, any other comments or questions? Councillor Donaldson.
Thank you, Helen, for the very extensive report. I was just wondering, could you explain to the public what the asset sustainability ratio actually means? Because I know what it means, but I'm just wondering if that's okay.
That's just through the chair. I might hand over to the Director of Operations because it relates to CapEx and our spend on renewals and how we're utilising our depreciation. But the Director may be able to explain it in relation to our capital program.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Alan. And through the Chair, look, I'll probably explain it in non-accounting terms. I'll put it in an engineering point of view. As assets depreciate or get older, we put money aside so that we can rebuild it. So we're making sure that we're not rebuilding more than we are putting aside and balancing that budget in simple terms.
Okay, thank you, Jason, for that.
Thank you very much. I think that's the first time I've heard an engineer explain something so simply, but thank you very much, Director. Any other comments or questions? Okay. Just in closing, just to reiterate, thank you again for your comprehensive report. And again, Council is sitting in a very sound position financially as we go into the second half of this financial year. I'll read out the recommendation, which is that the Central Highlands Regional Council adopts the monthly financial report for the period ended 31st of December 2025. All those in favour? Motion carried. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, moving on now to item 12.2.1, sale of land proceedings, notice of intention to sell. Can I have a mover, please? Councillor Donaldson? And a seconder, Councillor Whiteman. And handing over now to take us through the report, Manager of Finance, Helen Kirby. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Councillors, this report relates to a statutory sale of land process under Section 140 of the Local Government Regulation 2012 for properties with rates or charges unpaid for more than 3 years. The purpose of the report is to seek Council's approval to commence the sale of land process and to delegate authority to the Chief Executive Officer to issue the notices of intention to sell to all interested parties and take all steps necessary to effect the sale. This is a legislated process used by many councils across Queensland when arrears remain unpaid for more than 3 years, despite extensive debt recovery efforts. Council has undertaken 4 previous sale of land processes between 2016 and 2025, with 3 proceeding to auction. The last auction was held in 2019. The most recent sale of land process commenced in May last year and was paused in October 2025 without actually proceeding to auction. Of the 64 properties originally included in last year's process, 31 settled their arrears in full or entered approved payment arrangements, which left 33 properties with outstanding rates and charges. Even though this process was paused, Council recovered approximately $1 million in outstanding rates and charges. This proposed new sale of land action mainly includes the remaining properties from last year's process, with some exclusions. It also includes properties where payment arrangements have not been met and new properties that have now reached the 3-year overdue threshold. This results in a total of 32 properties being proposed for sale, with an estimated recovery of $1.57 million in outstanding rates and charges expected. Most of the properties are non-owner occupied, residential, and located in Emerald and Blackwater. It also includes 6 vacant land properties that are spread across the region in Emerald, Bahinya, Jaringa and Capella. If Council resolves to proceed, notices of intention to sell will be issued to property owners next month, and they will also be issued to other relevant interested parties such as financial institutions when the property is under a mortgage. Before Council can commence the process to offer the land for sale by auction, the legislation requires that property owners are given a minimum of 3 months to pay all their outstanding rates and charges or enter into an approved payment arrangement following the issue of the notice intention to sell. As outlined in the table report, we're anticipating that the auction will be scheduled for mid-July. So in closing, the recommendation before Council is that councillors resolve to sell the land listed in the schedule under section 140 of the Local Government Regulation 2012, give a notice to all interested parties, and delegate authority to the Chief Executive Officer to take all steps required to effect the sale. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Over to you, Councillor Donaldson.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I agree with this. I think it's very unfair on the other ratepayers that are doing the right thing. And obviously the persons or people have had ample opportunity to go into mediation and all the rest of it. And my actual thoughts, 3 years is too long, but yeah, well, that's the legislation that we have to deal with. Thank you.
Good. Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Whiteman.
Again, I think it's important to point out that this isn't the end of the process for these people. It's a nudge to talk to council, to enter into a process to bring the arrears up to date. It's certainly, the process continues, and I think it's just important to point out that this is being done with the utmost of compassion, but at the same time, we have rates and they have to be paid.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Seifer, thank you.
So I just seek some clarification around that comment. I thought the mediation had already taken place, and this is a motion to proceed to sale.
Just through the Chair, I will hand over to the Director of Corporate Services. No, the previous resolution we obtained in April last year, we did issue notices of intention to sell, but we didn't proceed and issue auction notices. We paused that process. I'll just hand over to the Director.
No worries. Councillor Seifer, it might be the mediation, the term might have just been used broadly, so not maybe a court-ordered mediation, maybe more of a, they can come to the rates department and negotiate a payment plan to pay off the full arrears in 12 months, not necessarily mediation in the court sense, but this could certainly prompt that type of discussion. You're exactly right. The way that we get here during the 3 years is that generally a claim's filed in the magistrate's court and will obtain judgment that there's a debt outstanding. There might have been a court-ordered mediation as part of that. That's well and truly gone now. After the 3 years has expired and we've got that order from the magistrate's court, we can proceed with this auction process. So I understand what you're saying, Councillor. This might bring people to the table to try and clear their debt now, not in the formal mediation sense, but perhaps more in an informal chat sort of a sense.
Good. Thank you very much. Thank you. Councillor Wilkins.
Yeah, I mean, I also feel, we need to pay our way. Sometimes the rates may not seem fair, but unfortunately that's the way of the world. But I do feel that 3 years has been a compassionate time, and I do agree that, some of them are beyond 3 years. So, my concern is, the level of compassion, but I feel that it has been shown, so thank you for that.
Good. Thank you very much, councillors. And I concur with the statements as well. And again, the sale of land proceedings and following up on the outstanding rates was stalled during COVID. So this is a process that we're making up for over quite a number of years as well. So that was my only comment, but thank you very much, councillors. And over to yourself, Councillor Donaldson, if you have any closing comments.
No further comment, thank you.
Good, thank you very much. So I'll read out the recommendation that the Central Highlands Regional Council resolves to A, sell the land in the below schedule pursuant to section 140 2 of the Local Government Regulations 2012, and B, delegate the Chief Executive Officer its powers to 1, give a notice of intention to sell the land to all interested parties under section 1403 of the Local Government Regulation 2012, and 2, take all further steps required under sections 141, 142, 143, 144, 145 and 146 of the Local Government Regulations 2012 to effect the sale of the land of those listed, those property assessments listed on the schedule on the screen. So we have a mover and a seconder, so all those in favour? Thank you, councillors. Motion carried. Thank you. Moving on now to our item 12.2.3, Operational Plan 2025-26, Quarter 2 Performance Report. Can I have a mover, please? Yep, sounds like it's going to be me. No, Councillor Newman, thank you. And seconder? Councillor Wilkins. Okay, handing over now to our Director Corporate Services, Rhys Dennison. Whoop, nope. Handing over now to our Chief Executive Officer, Aaron Johansson. Thanks, you.
Madam Mayor. So, councillors, this report, as the Mayor introduced, is an update of the operational plan for our Q2 performance report. So this report is presented in accordance with Section 174 of the Local Government Regs, which requires myself to provide council with a quarterly assessment of our progress towards implementing the annual operational plan. So, for a recap for everyone, the operational plan translates our 5-year corporate plan 2022 to 2027 into the key activities, projects and actions to be delivered during this financial year. And this report reflects our progress on that to the 31st of December 2025. So overall, I'm pleased to show that we've made some strong progress at the half-yearly mark, with the majority of activities on track. So of the 35 activities this year, 3 are complete, 9%, 25 are on track, 71%, and 7, which is 20%, are being monitored, which means that they are at risk of non-delivery, as in they're being monitored. So the activity delivers and spans across all 7 long-term destination goals, and the key initiatives during this quarter that we've made progression on is our governance and planning initiatives, particularly the business continuity plan, the contract management framework development, and we're continuing to work on the airport governance review as well as the LGIP review. Also, we've made some service improvements around our flood data management, continuing to work on our SCADA implementation, working through our gravel pit strategies, but also working on our ongoing asset management framework for improvements. There's been a really strong focus in the last 6 months around delivery in our libraries, youth, arts and culture space, but also our sale yards, our resource recovery, parks, emergency management and in customer service. And we're continuing to work on our digital transformation as an organisation. We've got some major initiatives working through our workforce and workplace developments, enhancement to our safety and our safety systems, and also environmental and our waste initiatives. So in closing, and I will hand over to directors if they've got any commentary to make or if members have questions for them. In closing, we're demonstrating that we're broadly on track to deliver the goals of the operational plan for the year ahead, and we're working well towards achieving those objectives. Madam Mayor.
Oh, excellent. Thank you very, very much. Mr. CEO, excellent update. So, directors, did you want any highlights from your areas that you want to share some really good news with us all, especially the community?
Well, be here all day, Madam Mayor.
Oh,
We were giving
absolutely.
you all the updates from corporate services. So no, I think the CEO's done a great job summarising those. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you. Any other? Okay, won't put you on the spot. Okay. Councillors, over to Councillor Newman. Is it? I've got you as a mover? Yep. Thank you.
Yes, well, I'm glad that the corporate plan has been presented. I can understand some of the timelines and the delays with some things. I congratulate you on what has been achieved. With the 9%, yeah, there's a busy year ahead of everybody. And I just had one question around the Flying Fox management strategy, please, if you could assist me with that one.
Thank you. Through the chair, if that's all right. Through the chair, so on page 204 of 263, there's the key deliverables of the Flying Fox management plan or approach, and in particular to the Doringa community. Council has engaged a contractor to assist us with the dispersal management plan and the process that we need to undertake legislatively to be able to undertake those activities. We've also met in region with Councillor Hindmarsh and other representatives within those communities, within that community, to understand the migration pattern of flying foxes previously, because at the moment there's not a significant colony within town. They haven't, I guess, re-emerged in the township per se. And so to fully understand the dispersal opportunity or activities, we need to understand the roost and how they're migrating within the township once they take up roost. There is a planned community meeting to occur. We're just in the process of finalising communications, but we'll do a letter drop. We'll let key people in the community know to pass the word along, and also work with the CRG that's got a meeting on the 5th of February. And we're trying to align the dispersal program around that, which will also should align with when flying foxes have been known to start to migrate into the town. And there's certain triggers that we have to wait for until we can do that dispersal plan, if that helps. Thank you.
Thank you. Very good. Thank you very much. Councillor Cypher.
Thank you. An extremely high-level document, and I do note that in the footnotes at each section, councillors will be given more information through workshops, etc. I just feel, and I have said this numerous times, that I personally, and I doubt whether the community actually gets any information out of this particular document, because it tells us nothing. Thank you very much. You've given us some information on something with flying foxes, so thank you very much. I have requested that departmental reports come back quarterly. Also, reports back on strategies, where actions from strategies, that is where council will learn what is happening with this organisation, because I personally don't believe at a high level like this, I think we're entitled to actually know some more details, and previously the directors, previously GMs, would actually speak to their departments and highlight key projects and report back so that the public had more transparency. And I believe there is very little transparency in this particular document, because I still don't have a clue about any projects or received any feedback on strategies, where we're at with strategies, whether we still do strategies. I'm still very unaware of that. So I would like to see more information provided to councillors on a more regular basis. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Cypher. Thank you. Councillor Wilkins.
Yeah, I have to concur with Councillor Cypher. I think we need a little more updating, well, a lot more updating in plain English as well, so we understand what's going on, what's completed, what our future plans are. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Councillors, any other comments? Thank you for all the comments, councillors. And at the end of the reading through the report, there's obviously a lot of hard work that goes on for staff at all levels of the organisation. So I do say congratulations and thank all the staff throughout the organisation for your dedication, commitment and hard work, and look forward to working with you for the rest of this year. Thank you very much. And back over to Councillor Newman.
No further comment, thank you.
Thank you very much. So I'll read the recommendation, which is that the Central Highlands Regional Council receive the Central Highlands Regional Council Operational Plan 2025-26 Quarter 2 Performance Report pursuant to Section 1743 of the Local Government Regulations 2012 Queensland. All those in favour? And those not in favour? Thank you very much, Councillor Cypher. So you've got those recorded?
Yeah, so recorded.
Yep, thank you very much. Thank you, councillors. Moving on now to Section 12.4, Chief Executive Officer, and item 12.4.1, Local Government Association of Queensland Civic Leaders Summit. Can I have a mover, please?
Sorry, Madam Mayor.
Sorry?
No? We've overlooked 12.2.4, which is the Audit and Risk Committee.
Okie dokie, thank you. I didn't have my little indicator on there, so thank you very much for pointing that out. Going back to item 12.2.4, which is the unconfirmed minutes audit and risk committee meeting 4th of December 2025. So can I have a mover, please? No. Councillor Wilkins? And a seconder, Councillor Cruz. Very good. I'll hand over now to our Director Corporate Services, Rhys Dennison.
Thank you very much, Madam Mayor, and thank you for not overlooking this. Always the highlight of the agenda for me, the Audit and Risk Committee meeting minutes. Councillors, through the Chair, this report presents the most recent unconfirmed meeting minutes of the Audit Committee. On the 4th of December, the committee met to review a number of items, including the Queensland Audit Office's final management report for the Council. So you'll all recall that Council was issued a modified opinion there. Also discussed Council's proposed contract management framework, which I believe it's not me saying too much, that the Audit Committee received that quite positively. We also received a very positive and broad-ranging update about Council's cyber security at the Audit Committee as well, presented by the Manager of ICT. So in advance of our next Audit Committee, Councillors, which is coming around very soon, just in February there, these minutes are provided to you to receive and endorse. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you very, very much. Over to Councillor Wilkins.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I don't really have too many comments. I just like to say the draft risk appetite statement, which was presented there, I think went over quite well. And I was glad that I guess the risk appetite statement was had the input of all the councillors, and I think it was yeah, well put together. But yeah, as far as the minutes, I have no comment really.
Good. Thank you very much. Councillors, any other comments or questions? Very good. I know attending that meeting, I thought it was an excellent meeting and we covered heaps of topics and it was a really good meeting, very positive, so thank you. And Councillor Wilkins, do you have any closing comments?
No closing comments, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. So I'll read out the recommendation, which is that the Central Highlands Regional Council receives the unconfirmed minutes of the Audit and Risk Committee meeting held on 4th of December 2025 and endorses the recommendations contained within the minutes. So all those in favour? Good. Motion carried. Thank you very much. Now, moving on to item number 12, section 12.4, Chief Executive Officer, and the item number is 12.4.1, Local Government Association of Queensland Civic Leaders Summit. Can I have a mover, please? Councillor Sypher, seconder, Councillor Wilkins, I think. Whiteman, sorry. Had your hand up quicker there, so thank you. So handing over now to our Chief Executive Officer, Mr. Aaron Johansson. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. So the report outlines the upcoming LGAQ Civic Leaders Summit, which is due to be held in Brisbane on the 25th to the 26th of March, with an associated Merrill Networking Forum hosted at Parliament House the evening before. So as members will be aware, LGAQ is a peak body representing all 77 Queensland councils, and the LGAQ provide an update, an important platform for leadership development, statewide collaboration, and discussing emerging issues impacting local government. The report seeks Council's direction on attendance by the Mayor, the Deputy Mayor and myself, the CEO, noting the strategic value of participating in this high-level forum. The attendance aligns with previous commitments and also our current commitment to strengthening governance, leadership capability and regional advocacy. It ought also be noted in the report that there's an overlapping around scheduling for the General Council meeting and the strategic briefing forums in March. So in summary, the recommendation is to confirm the representation at the civic leaders in March for the Mayor, the Deputy and CEO to attend. Open to any questions.
Handing over now to Councillor Sypher.
Thank you. I think this is a very important conference for the 3 identified attendees. And yeah, I fully support it.
Thank you, Councillor Sypher. Any other comments or questions? Councillor Cruz.
Through the chair, just giving the timing of it, I think perhaps if there's any need back home, I guess I would prefer not to attend. Just to make it, just so that, I guess from scheduling point of view, if we all attended, I'm assuming there may need a change or something with regards meetings or...
Yep.
I'm just not sure, but...
Yeah. Thank you, Councillor. It's up to yourself whether you would like to attend or not. In our absence, we can designate another councillor to chair the meeting. So there's, if we're proceeding with the meeting, there's no hold up if we need to do that. The other option is potentially looking at rescheduling the meeting, that council meeting.
Yes, so Madam Mayor, the other option, we've got a report that will come to the February General Council meeting about some change of General Council meeting dates because of commitments like the LGAQ conference and the Australian Local Government Association conference, which clashes with our GCMs.
Good. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
So, Councillor Cruz, would you like to hold off? Or we've got to let people know now, or
yeah, I'm happy to stay home for this one if it's easier. Yep.
I don't think it's easier. No.
Well, with regard to rescheduling, I can. When do we have to make the decision? I guess is the point in time.
So realistically, the sooner we can register and confirm accommodation and flights like, the better. Noting that if you do choose to attend per the resolution, that we'll have a report that's going to change multiple dates for potential general council meetings following in February council meeting.
Yeah. No, I'm happy to sit this one out. Yep, thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Cypher.
Therefore, I will have to change my opinion on because I think it's critically important that the Mayor and the Deputy Mayor attend this conference together. And rescheduling meetings is a norm.
Yep.
It is not it's not extraordinary. It's the norm. So I move this on the belief that it was the Mayor and the Deputy Mayor, and for me personally, that is critical to my decision making. So sorry, I'll be withdrawing my vote for the support of this conference.
Okay, thank you.
So can I just get a check with the Director of Corporate Services in relation to the motion?
That's right. So the motion before you, councillors, has been moved and seconded. If we are going to amend the motion, or if Councillor Cruz would like to amend the motion, Councillor Cruz can propose that, but we'll need a seconder for the amendment to that, which will effectively read that Central Highland Council be represented by somebody else that's not yourself, or by the person's name there, excluding yourself, Councillor Cruz, if that makes sense.
Yep.
Sorry, through the chair, we didn't attend last year, did we? I think there may have been some issues with weather and so forth. So, did we attend last year?
I thought we did. Oh, we did.
So through you, Madam Mayor. So last year we had a resolution to attend. Brisbane was flooded that particular week from memory, and the Mayor made the decision that we would not attend based around that weather event.
Yeah, that's right. Correct.
So,
we didn't go last year, but
yeah, look,
option to go this year.
If it is going to make things easier with regards resolution and so forth, and there may be something coming, if there is the opportunity, we can leave the resolution as is if that is required, and I can go if that is the will of the council, I guess, if that is there. Yeah.
Well, I think there's other councillors that are happy to comment. Maybe we just do that. Sorry, councillor. Councillor Wilkins.
I think it's probably easier to have your name up there, and then, sorry, Councillor Cruz, and then if circumstances change, then it would be easier to unbook it, as opposed to if circumstances change and you can go and we change the meeting times, then to book it at a later date. So it would be easier to cancel than to try and book at a forward date.
Thank you, councillor. Councillor Donaldson.
I'll give my 20 cents worth. I think it's important that the Mayor, Deputy Mayor and the CEO go to this conference as representatives of the Central Highlands Regional Council. I think it's important to go to these meetings and conferences to give our opinions of the running of the Queensland and the local government area. So I'd like you to go, Rach. Sorry.
So yeah, Councillor Newman.
Through the chair, I am actually in support of the Mayor, Deputy Mayor and CEO attending the conference. Given that was my initial decision. I still believe that we should be attending these conferences. We should be learning from them. We should be gaining insight from other councils for how they deal with different situations. So I think it's a valuable opportunity.
Thank you. It's looking like... Did you have another? Councillor Whiteman.
Just as a question of
I don't know, a question of process. Are we still debating an amendment or?
Yeah, no amendments currently been moved, councillor, so we're debating the substantive motion which is before you.
So we're still on the original motion. Rightio.
Councillor Cruz.
Through the chair, and I apologise for making this longer than what it was intended, I guess. My hesitancy was around, I guess, the importance that we have a resolution with regards the meetings, the meeting dates, and they're incredibly important for our region as well. And I understand, I take the point that these things do come up and they do have to change, but that's primarily where my thought process was, to not, you know, have to do those changes. But if there are other changes that are required and it's the will of the council that we all attend, then I'm happy to leave it as is, if that is of benefit.
Good. Thank you, Councillor Cruz. And even if we were sticking with the schedule, like I say, we can nominate another councillor to chair the meetings if they wouldn't leave us too short. So I think that's what you're. But yeah, once we're obviously having some consideration at the next meeting about some changes of dates of meetings. So thank you. So I'm figuring that the recommendation stands as it is. Councillor Cypher, would you like to have your closing comments?
Thank you. I just want to make it quite clear, if this motion changes and Councillor Cruz isn't attending, clarification, this motion would have to be rescinded. If it was just without an emergency situation that Councillor Cruz wasn't to attend, this motion would be rescinded and come back as a new motion just for the Mayor and the CEO under correct procedures.
Councillors, once you pass the resolution, it would be expected, of course, that the councillors would attend. The option to rescind would be if you wanted to, I suppose, withdraw your direction, the Deputy Mayor attend. We'd have to take it on notice if for whatever reason the Deputy Mayor didn't attend, then yes. Yeah, we'd have to sort of play that by ear. I have to have a think about that and take that on notice, Councillor Cypher.
Well, the motion wouldn't be as it was adopted, so therefore something would have to be done. So if you could clarify that at some point for us as well.
No worries at all. All I'm just thinking of is rescinding it after the fact, after it hasn't been completed, to rescind it once it's not done. I just want to think that through, but appreciate that. Thank you, Councillor Cypher.
Okay, thank you. No more comments.
Good. Thank you, Councillor Cypher. Right, I'll read out the recommendation, which is that the Central Highlands Regional Council is represented at the Local Government Association of Queensland LGAQ Civic Leaders Summit to be held in Brisbane on the 25th and 26th of March 2026 by Mayor Councillor Janice Moriarty, Deputy Mayor Councillor Rachel Cruz and Chief Executive Officer Aaron Johansson. So, all those in favour? Motion carried. Thank you, councillors. Very good. And now, just checking I'm not missing something. Yep, 14. Moving on to section 14, information reports. So, item number 14.1.1, record of proceedings, Central Highlands Arts and Cultural Advisory Committee planning meeting, 5th of December 2025. Can I have a mover, please? Councillor Wilkins, and a seconder? Councillor Whiteman. Handing over now to Manager Culture, Arts and Regional Engagement. Lehigh Duncan, welcome back.
Thank you, Mayor Moriarty. Through the Chair, good morning again, councillors. As you're aware, the Central Highlands Arts and Cultural Advisory Committee, known as CHRC, is a council committee established to support council's service delivery in the areas of arts, culture and heritage. The committee met on the 5th of December 2025 with the record of proceedings presented to you today, and I'll take the report as read.
Very good. Handing over to Councillor Wilkins.
Well, I have to say I'm so excited because this year I think is just going to be pretty amazing. We've got a lot of events coming up. Firstly, like the Medley March Festival, you would say. And there's going to be a lot of things happening. I think advertising had gone out in December after that CHRC meeting. There's going to be an exhibition of it. There's going to be workshops, any number of things. And so I'm really excited that there is so much that the council CHRC group are going forward with so many events. Also in the Art Attack, so Arts Around August formally, from July through to September. There's a lot more events happening, and hopefully we'll have like a program well beforehand so people can work out which events they want to attend, or all of them. So I'm really excited for this year. I think there's going to be a lot happening.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Picking up on your enthusiasm there, Councillor Wilkins, especially looking through the minutes and recapping. You're absolutely right. Thank you. Any other comments? Councillors? Councillor Whiteman.
I appreciate Councillor Wilkins' excitement with this. It's good to see it. It's why we have a broad range of councillors. It's councillors getting as excited about this as I do about the budget, so which I find just as exciting. So no, it's good news for the Central Highlands.
Good. Thank you very much. Any other comments? And my only other comment is, congratulations to all the team at council and the councillors and the community members who get together to host all these events. It's an excellent opportunity to spread joy through the community, and all our local artists able to exhibit their arts and performing arts and etc. too. So thank you very much. Just reading the recommendation now that the Central Highlands Regional Council receives the record of proceedings of the Central Highlands Arts and Cultural Advisory Committee meeting held on 5th of December 2025. So those in favour? Motion carried. Thank you very, very much. So we have nil reports for 14.2.1, nil reports for 14.3.1, nil reports for 14.4.1, and then nil reports for 15.1, and nil reports for 16. Moving on to 17, our notice of motion, and we do have a notice of motion, 17.1, real-time flood data, gauge maintenance, Deputy Mayor, Councillor Rachel Cruz. Do we do a mover? Councillor Cruz, and seconder? Councillor Donaldson. Over to you, Councillor Cruz.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I will take the report as read, but just a bit of background. Queensland's locally led disaster management framework puts councils at the forefront of natural disaster events. Queensland's councils and their local communities rely heavily on timely, accurate and locally relevant flood intelligence from the Bureau of Meteorology to support disaster preparedness, inform the timing and distribution of emergency alerts and aid response and recovery planning. For many years, the Bureau of Meteorology has provided free, real-time access to flood and weather data to councils. This access is a core service, not an optional add-on, and this information is crucial to local communities during flooding events. As of the 1st of July 2026, the software relied upon to provide this critical data will cease to be supported by the Bureau of Meteorology. The BOM will move to a new software platform, OneRain, that will force some councils to purchase their own systems to continue accessing real-time BOM data. The replacement service cannot be sub-licensed and will not be freely available. Indications are that the replacement system could cost councils and their ratepayers anywhere between $10,000 to several $100,000, depending on the council's size, scale and needs. The alternative option of relying on the BOM's free alternative means relying on updates that are delayed and provided in 15-minute intervals. This is unacceptable and particularly concerning to communities with catchments that are highly responsive to rainfall. This motion is supported by the LGAQ that continues to advocate on behalf of Queensland councils regarding this issue and the associated cost shift, and supports councils in undertaking further advocacy. Thank you.
Good. Thank you very much, Councillor Cruz. Councillors, any other comments or questions? Councillor Cruz, thank you. Councillor Whiteman.
It's important to note that, as I understand it, this used to be in-house with the BOM. This has been outsourced to an overseas corporation for administration and for the subscription model. I think it's a misstep by the BOM. That said, we aren't in a position to do anything more than advocate for our community, and I think that this motion is something that we should support.
Good. Thank you very much, Councillor Whiteman. Councillor Newman.
Through the chair, the BOM and the changes within that department have caused some concern and some angst for a number of councils. We are still in the process of finding out just what that will look like. I am in support of this motion. I know that LGAQ are actively seeking some answers again regarding this situation. In our recent flood event, we saw how critical that infrastructure is to our communities, and the fact that we are going to a council-paid model, I think, is a step backwards, a major step backwards in what is essentially an essential disaster management service.
Good. Thank you very much, Councillor. Councillor Wilkins.
Okay, so I'm going to be controversial. Okay, on the face of it, this is excellent. So yes, I think BOM should be, it's a national body, and it needs to be, federally funded and what have you. And I agree totally that, it shouldn't be put onto local councils to pay for this. And everything what Councillor Cruz has said, I do agree with. What I disagree with it is that this motion or whatever was not constructed as a group. It's an individual construct, and even though it is very good, it is still an individual construct. We did meet yesterday and had a discussion, but it was actually too late to make any changes yesterday. Councillor Cruz did offer for us a few weeks ago that we could contact her, but it still wouldn't have been like a group discussion. Yesterday was a really good, robust discussion, I might add. My point here is that it's not a group construct, and LGAQ are doing advocating for us, and I think as a group we need to support the other 76 councils as the LGAQ, and it's not like the LGAQ, who are representing 77 councils, are then, and we're the 78th council, you know, we will be heard with the LGAQ. I just am not a fan of this process, that was all.
Good. Thank you, Councillor Wilkins. Councillor Sypher.
Thank you. A councillor's notice of motion under legislation is simply that. It is an individual councillor that actually puts a motion up. And like you rightly said, Councillor Wilkins, there was, Rachel twice asked for feedback on it. It wasn't put out 3 days before the agenda. It was put out sometime before the agenda. I think after yesterday's discussion, I think in future, I think we came to an agreement that we all have the right to put up a notified motion, and this was exceptionally well written and researched, but we perhaps in our councillor meetings will discuss them, but the motion on a notified motion is what the individual councillor wants. I thought the motion was too long. We talked about that. Anyone today could have actually amended the motion and changed it, and that would have had to been voted on prior to this motion that Councillor Cruz wrote. No one's chosen to do that, yet every councillor had the right to do it. So, with all respect, Councillor Wilkins, this motion is the motion that was discussed yesterday and no one has put an amendment to it. So I think, well, I didn't think your comments were actually necessary in an open meeting. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Donaldson.
Thank you everyone for your comments. I fully support this motion. I thought it was very well researched and well done to our Deputy Mayor. My personal thoughts, I don't know whether to say it in public forum or not. I'm very sceptical of large government corporations and bureaucrats because we've seen it all before within our country that I just don't trust the bomb. So that's my personal opinion. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. Very good. Thank you, Councillor Cruz. Yes, this is an important motion with addressing particularly the intention in July to start charging councils to subscribe and pay for data from the BOM. And like all councils, we will be joining all of individual councils, putting letters forward to the various federal ministers and state ministers, and also supporting the LGAQ. I would suspect there's probably all councils throughout, not just Queensland, but Australia, believe that they would like to still have that data for free. Because as Councillor Newman was saying, this is about, it's about having data there that's about helping us to make decisions that can be about life and death. So it's critical that we can access that information. But also I would like to, well, the other thing, thank you for including item number 4 there, to seek an update on negotiations between Council and BOM on the possible transfer of critical flood gauge assets. I think that will be important to get that information back because we're we're a council that has an extensive network of gauges, both rain gauges and flood gauges throughout our region. So we just need to make sure that we've got a comprehensive understanding of all of the gauges in the region, the ones that we own and the ones that BOM own. We need to understand that too from the maintenance costs and renewable costs as well ongoing. And I think that that will be important for councillors to have the extra conversation around that as part of that. So thank you very much for including that. And I think in closing too, I would like to thank the BOM for being so responsive, particularly through the last weather event. I don't know that people realise that every time our council have our local disaster management group meetings, particularly when we get moved to stand up, that they have forecasters as well as hydrologists provide reports, and it doesn't matter what time we have our meetings, they participate in those meetings to provide critical data for us to be making decisions at the local level. So I do want to say that in many ways, as we always have, we continue to have a good partnership with the BOM to share critical data modelling to make sure that accurate warnings are going out, and we've got the valuable and critical and timely information to make decisions on behalf of our communities with all of the agencies that participate on our local disaster management group. So I would like to also add that thank you. Okay, we have a mover and seconder. So, sorry. Councillor Cruz, sorry. Yes, as closing comments, sorry.
Oh, good. Thank you. Through the mayor. I brought this as a notice of motion because I believed it wasn't something that we could just leave sitting in an inbox, and I felt that it needed a clear stance from this council, in that we just can't just wait, see what happened next, or hope someone else that takes it on. It's important because it goes straight to the safety planning and certainty for our communities. And I think we need to be very clear about the cost. For me, it doesn't matter if it is $10, $10,000 or $100,000. This is a service that is a federal responsibility. Decisions being made inside the Bureau shouldn't end up on the backs of regional ratepayers. That's not cost recovery, that's cost shifting, and it's wrong. And if the federal government changes a service that we rely on, they should be paying for it, full stop. Sitting quietly has never won anything for regional Queensland. And in this case, I think we need to speak up and stand up and fight for what is fair, not only for our council, but for all councils. And the advocacy on this issue doesn't need to finish with this motion, but it does need to start. Thank you.
Good. Thank you, councillor. And I would like to just add there that our council hasn't been on the back burner or in the... we have been having very proactive conversations with BOM, and we're still waiting for some information like most other councils. So I'd just like to reassure the public that we have been in the background. Council have been having those conversations. Well, I didn't realise till just recently. The staff have been following up. So, but thank you very, very much, Councillor Cruz. Okay, so I think the motion has been read out, and all those in favour? Okay, so those recorded in favour and those against? Thank you, Councillor Wilkins. Motion carried. Thank you. Moving on to general business. If there was any general business, councillors. Neil, any community acknowledgements? There we go. Councillor Wilkins.
Thank you. Council Cyber. No, just the Australia Day celebrations. It was such a fabulous day. Our ambassador was exceptional, it was just wonderful, all the events that were put on. Albeit I only attended the Emerald ones, but, from the photos from the other areas, it looked fantastic. Yep. And I do like the idea that there were forms that people could have filled out for ideas for next year. So I think that's great.
Great. Thank you very much. Thank you, Councillor Newman.
Through the chair, I'd like to reiterate the many communities and witnessing their celebrations and acknowledging all those volunteers and supporters that showed up to assist on that day. Also, all those volunteers and community members that assisted in the recent flooding events and the hardworking staff internally. So I'd just like to acknowledge the great work that everyone was doing in that space as well.
Great. Thank you very much, Councillor. And absolutely concur with your comments, particularly around the Australia Day events that happened across the region, and thank all the councillors for getting in and getting involved and being part of that. And I just wanted to also acknowledge our 2026 Ambassador for Australia Day, John Lazarou, who visited the region, he assures us he had a great time, and is going to be coming back, particularly to come out and look at the Carnarvon Gorge and the Gemfields as well, to do some fossicking. So thank you very much, absolutely. Thank you to all the volunteers. Thank you to our CHRC staff who are right across the region. Congratulations to all the nominees of all the awards, and of course to all of the winners as well. So thank you very much. Award winners? Sorry, just to clarify, I was saying congratulations to the Australia Day award nominees and award winners. Sorry. Thank you. So I think that brings us to the close of our meeting today. So thank you very much. So closing the meeting at 10:42 a.m. Thank you, councillors. Thank you to all our live streamers as well. Thank you to all the staff. Thank you.